have someone that owns an e-com store. You might have someone that walks dogs. You might have someone that owns $100 million tech company. So it's like a very broad organization of the types of business owners that are part of it, and also the level of business that they're in. Like our networking events bring together like startup people, and then also those who are like, doing 7-8 figures in their company. So
welcome to Sunny Setup Podcast. I'm your host, David. And who am I talking to today?
Today you're talking to Devin Butler, man. I appreciate you having me on the podcast. Excited to dive a little bit deeper.
So who is Devin Butler?
So to share a little bit about who I am and like what I'm doing today and like how I got to this point. So as I said, my name's Devin Butler. So I'm actually not originally from Arizona. That's where I reside right now, is in Arizona. I built all my businesses here in the state of Arizona, but actually from Michigan. So same area as you, David. I grew up in Holland, Michigan area and went to college out in Grand Rapids. And then I moved out here about 4 years ago. And since I've gotten out here 4 years ago, I've just been starting and building businesses and really connecting the entrepreneurial community out here in the state of Arizona.
So how many, you said businesses, plural, like how many, because I was obviously with your hat, Arizona entrepreneurs, how many do you have? Like how many did you start?
Yeah. So when I say businesses plural, like not all of them worked out by any means. So I like I said, I got out here 4 years ago. And when I first got here, I started a couple different companies. I started a videography business, and I also started a lead generation company. And both of those businesses did not work out. Like both businesses failed. I fell flat on my face, but that was the first time where I like got that first exposure and experience within business. And I also really realized throughout those stages that I needed to get connected with entrepreneurs, that I needed to build relationships with people that would help me to continue to reach new levels in business and in my personal life. So from there, like that whole epiphany led me down the path of starting and creating Arizona Entrepreneurs, which I've been building this company and community for the last 3 years. We actually have our 3-year anniversary event this month, so almost 3 years exactly. And it's just been a very fulfilling journey, man. And it's the whole entrepreneur story. Like typically when you first get started off in business, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's a lot of challenges and things you got to figure out. So I definitely had those learning experiences, and that led me into what I'm doing today with Arizona Entrepreneurs, which has been a really fun and fulfilling experience so far.
How did you, so when you first had the idea of, I want to create a group, how did that idea come about?
So it really came about because it was what I needed personally in my own life. So as I shared, I had those first couple of businesses I was starting, and I was really struggling. It was the first time I was new to an area. So I was lonely out here just trying to figure out how to be successful as an entrepreneur. And I had no like mentorship, no guidance. So it was what I was looking for. I was going to all the networking events, the masterminds, the conferences, like everything that was going on in Arizona. And I saw that there was a need in the market for connecting entrepreneurs and creating an environment that was more socially interactive and experiential, to where it's something that people really wanted to be a part of because it was an experience, but also something where they were going to make amazing relationships and connections. So yeah, full transparency, man. It was just like what I was looking for myself, and I was trying to find it. And then like slowly I started to realize like, okay, if I can't find a consistent organization in place that I can get plugged into to start to meet my friends, my mentors, the people that I need to be around, as well as like get that coaching and education to help me reach that next level in business. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are going through that same challenge. So, I identified it because it's what I needed. And then I quickly realized that so many other people in the state needed it as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because, I mean, I'm sure that's the thought process of a lot of people. Like I was just reading about Brian Chesky, the Airbnb founder. It's like, yeah, we got all these people with homes that are not being used, so I'm just going to create a platform to rent them out.
Exactly.
Not a unicorn idea, not like a revolutionary idea. It's just, just going to make it easy, That's what you're doing.
That's all business is in my eyes. It's identifying areas where there's a gap in the market and where there's a challenge that needs to be solved. And there could be like innovation in something that helps solve that challenge at scale, and then being able to create that and bring that to fruition. So that was the exact same experience with me, to where it was like I was out here, I was trying to get connected with people and like grow my business, but it didn't seem like there was something super innovative and consistent in that area. So I was like, okay, that's I identified an area to where I could add value to the marketplace and create something that would really create connectivity and bring people together throughout the state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How did you? So when you start your company, how did you start kind of collecting people and names to build it up?
Yeah, so it's interesting because at first I just had the Instagram name. So I had the Arizona Entrepreneurs Instagram handle. It wasn't a business or a company by any means. I was just like, okay, I could build this social media channel and just start to meet people and make connections. Cause like I said, it was just like what I was trying to find myself. So I didn't have this like big vision or idea right from the beginning. So at first it just started off as an Instagram page. And from there, like the first 8 months before actually like launching it as a company, I just built the Instagram following. So by the time we started actually doing events and creating offers and ways to support business owners, I already had an audience of like thousands of followers on the Arizona Entrepreneurs Instagram, which like helped a lot because we had traction and like somewhat of a community built. So it was Instagram mainly to start, and then LinkedIn has also been very huge for us. So we have a process that we implement on LinkedIn to generate a ton of information from Arizona business owners that are looking for more support within their journey. And then we gather that data of emails, phone numbers, Instagram followers, LinkedIn followers, and just built a really big audience and database of Arizona business owners, which then allows us to market our events, our experiences, and all the ways that we're adding value to business owners.
Okay, so are you? I'm assuming that you probably started like how I'm doing now, of just going through Instagram and messaging people, right? Or
To an extent, so like with Arizona Entrepreneurs, since it's a very specific organization, like the people we serve are Arizona Entrepreneurs. It's a name to where you can clearly know if you resonate with our company or not, like whether or not you're an Arizona business owner. And so for that, like what I did is I would look up like hashtag Phoenix small business, hashtag Arizona entrepreneurs, hashtag Arizona
okay,
business, and find all of these business owners throughout the state and just go and follow all of them, because I knew like if they got a follow from us, that it was probably someone that would be interested and engaged in our content and what we were doing for the community. So that was like one of the growth strategies that I implemented early on that helped us to build like a really big audience and following of people who were engaged with our community.
okay, because I'm sure most people that have any kind of a networking company or wanting to start one are like, okay, what's step one? Because I've mentioned before on my channel with other business people is that you have to demonstrate how these people started, not what they're doing now, right? Like
Exactly.
Elon Musk is not going to be giving business advice to a newbie about what he's doing in Tesla right now. It's like it's
Yeah.
irrelevant,
Yeah.
So I want to try to provide information for my viewers of how are you starting? How did Murray Sawchuk on my last episode? How is he starting? Like that's the important stuff.
I love that. Yeah, that's like one of my biggest recommendations and tips. Like we live in a world where social media is so prevalent, and like that's where, like, I don't know the percentage, but a ridiculous amount of people that are on social media. So that's where people's attention is already focused on. So that is for like all the companies that I've ever tried to start or successfully created. It's always like I definitely leverage social media to build an audience, to build brand credibility, and then from there you have like a pipeline of people that you can market your services and offers to. So I'm a big advocate for like starting a brand and a business on social media, and from there like building things in
Hmm.
addition.
So, what kind of people do you have in your organization? Like, is it like service based? Is it product based? What kind of customers?
It's a lot. And I get asked that question a lot, and I don't have like a very clear answer because since it's Arizona Entrepreneurs, it's a broad organization to where you might have someone that owns an e-com store. You might have someone that walks dogs. You might have someone that owns $100 million tech company. So it's like a very broad organization of the types of business owners that are part of it, and also the level of business that they're in. Like our networking events bring together like startup people, and then also those who are like, doing 7, 8 figures in their company. So it's a very broad organization based on industry and experience level. But I would say a lot of businesses that I see within the network, like some of them that are more frequent, are like a lot of online service based businesses, whether that be coaches, consultants, personal trainers, people in the finance space, the real estate space. There's a lot of those similarities, and a lot of people that join that I see have those industries and experience levels. But like I said, it's hard to just like put a finger on exactly what it is because there's so many unique types of businesses that are part of the community.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I mean, Arizona is not just one industry.
Yeah.
Um, so like from this point now, like where do you see yourself going with this business?
Yeah, so really the next steps with Arizona entrepreneurs, like when you think about say moving to a new state, you're moving to Atlanta. Like if you're a business owner, you're going to tap into those business resources in that state. So you're probably going to look at Chamber of Commerce, BNI, like these existing organizations where you may be able to meet people and also like add value to your company. So for us here in Arizona, we built like a huge market share and we bring together like a ton of people on a consistent basis, but the big goal and vision is having Arizona entrepreneurs be the go-to hub for business owners in the state. So whether you're doing $200 million in your company or you just started off and got your first LLC, to where you can get immersed and plugged into Arizona entrepreneurs and get value. So that's like the big vision picture is as far as how I see Arizona entrepreneurs being. But to go a little bit more in detail right now, like one of my core focuses as the CEO of the company is really just like streamlining our systems, our processes, our internal team, getting the company in a position to where it can operate efficiently and to where we could deliver a lot of value to the community. And then the next phase is going to be duplicating this model. So helping people to build communities similar to Arizona entrepreneurs in different states and regions all around the world.
Okay. So I would assume that you would probably, as time goes on and you branch out into different states, you probably change the name, or
Yeah.
would you keep the? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Do you think you would ever go like international?
Yeah. Yeah. I have a couple international clients that I'm in talks with, but yeah, like in
Oh,
Europe,
okay.
a couple places that I would like to, support communities that already exist out there in Europe and help them to build and scale, like leveraging a lot of the
Hmm.
strategies, tactics, and everything that we've implemented into the Arizona market.
Is there any like problems with, passports or anything like travel bans with that?
Not necessarily. Like I haven't looked into all of the transfer of money, and there's like a lot of different stuff that you have to look into when you're operating a business internationally. So there's definitely some loopholes and some things that I'm gonna have to look more into. But as far as like passports and travel bans and stuff, I don't know anything as far as that goes yet.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Have you traveled much? Like, is that okay? Where have you been to?
A lot of places in Europe, so like Barcelona, Italy,
Okay.
London, like Honduras, Costa Rica, Mexico. I love some travel, so I actually want to spend like a few months in Europe coming up in beginning of 2024. So that's part of the intention with going out there is being able to help stand up a couple communities out there as well.
Okay, that would be cool. I was in Barcelona. That was a really
I,
cool spot.
I loved it there.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on.
Of course, man. I appreciate you having me.
So, for the people that are interested, where can they find you on social media?
On social, the Arizona Entrepreneurs account is just at Arizona Entrepreneurs. And then my personal on Instagram is at Devin Ray Butler. And then I would say the next best place to like learn more information about Arizona Entrepreneurs is just our website, which is arizonaentrepreneurs.com.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Of course, appreciate you, man.